Welcome to Sunday Story Nights with Ava. So today we're reading Michael and his Starry Nights. And this is Michael.
And where did Michael come from?
The book.
From the book. So this book was written by Roxanne McLaren and illustrated by Kate Reichman, and it was published by Another Chapter Publishing, which is a local publishing company here in Ottawa, and Roxanne also made Michael to match. So let's see what Michael's up to. Michael loved his starry nights. When the house was quiet and the family asleep, Michael would sit up in his bed, push the curtain aside, and stare out the window.
Yep. He will do that in the show.
He'd study the stars, the shape of the moon. Sometimes, if he was lucky, he'd see flashing lights of an airplane as it flew through the dark sky. He'd listen to the soft night sounds and smell the fresh smells the breeze carried through his window. Michael loved his starry nights. Michael didn't like mornings. His mom would wake him and shake him and say, "Get out of bed, Michael. Hurry up or you'll be late for school." But Michael didn't want to wake up. He didn't want to get out of bed. Michael's mornings were too noisy. The kitchen was crowded and everyone was hurrying. When he tried to eat his breakfast, his brother Elbow poked him in the stomach and his sister cried for more milk. Michael didn't like his mornings. But Michael's mother and father liked the morning and were sad when Michael wanted to stay in bed. "Maybe if Michael learns more about the nighttime, then he'll sleep like the rest of us," they said. So Michael and his family went to the library. They borrowed books about the stars and the planets. Michael discovered why the moon changes shape and why some stars are red and some are yellow. Michael read all about the night sky. Michael and his family went to the museum. He looked at his stars through a big telescope. He saw the starry night drawn upon the wall and was able to reach out and touch his sky. Michael sat in a spaceship that could take him towards the stars and explored the planes that flew at night. Michael learned more about the night. Michael's having a great adventure learning all about the night.
Yeah.
Michael and his family went to the zoo. He saw bats, badgers, snakes, and other animals that like to sleep all day and stay awake at night. Do you know what they're called, these animals that stay awake all night? They're nocturnal animals.
Nocturnal!
Nocturnal, there's a new word. He heard the crickets, the frogs, owls that filled his starry nights with their soft sounds. Michael learned more about the animals of the night.
But bats don't come in real life. Only owls.
Bats are real too.
I saw one.
Not vampire bats. Well, vampire bats, yes, but they're not like bats that turn into people or people that turn into bats. Michael helped his mom and dad make stars from shiny pieces of aluminum foil, and they decorated his room. When Michael shut his door, closed the curtain, and turned off the light, his ceiling was almost like the night sky. But Michael still liked sitting up in bed when everyone else was asleep, looking out on his starry night. Losing the book. And Michael still didn't like his mornings. One night, Michael thought he was the only one awake. He sat up and pushed aside the curtain. But this time, his mom was awake too. She took Michael's hand, and together they went outside and sat on the hill. They looked at the stars twinkling so brightly and the round moon hanging in space. They smelled the fresh, clean night air and felt the cool, damp grass under their feet. But most of all, they listened, really listened, to the soft night sounds. His mom finally knew what Michael loved most about his starry nights. He loved the peace, he loved the quiet, and she loved it too. I like the peace and quiet of the nights too. And the really early morning when everybody's still in bed.
But you let me sleep for longer.
Now the mornings were calmer at Michael's house. The family wakes up earlier. They do not rush around. His brother's elbow doesn't poke him, and everyone makes sure his sister's cup is full of milk. So Michael likes his mornings more.
Just a little bit.
A little bit more. And on weekend evenings, something special happens. The whole family sits on the hill, and together they enjoy the quiet of Michael's starry night. The end. So, again, that was Michael and his Starry Nights. And you can find that at Another Chapter Publishing, and I'll post the link to their website in the comments. They're all Canadian authors and published right here in Ottawa. Right, we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.